We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. We are all friends here. There are no strangers once you walk inside that door. We welcome you to linger in this family of love and hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are. And hold you in our hearts the way you are.
Now, if you'll stay standing, we'll do our blessing. We love you. We bless you. We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you. And now I'd like to invite Anton to do our welcome.
What? I didn't even realize I was doing this. Welcome, everybody, to Unity in Reading. We're so glad you're here today. And this is a special day because Laura and I are giving the talk. And it's also a special day because you are here. You've made the effort to come here today, so thank you.
Thank you, Anton. And now I'd like to do our opening prayer. Divine Spirit, as we've come here today in this divine appointment to be with each other, to open our hearts, to connect to each other, to listen to the kind words from Anton and Laura today, to fill our hearts and our souls with that love and light. So we give thanks for each and every one of you, for those that are watching and those that are here in this divine appointment. And I say, and so it is. Amen. And now, Gianna, would you like to light our candle? I forgot to ask. Oh, well, you just... Right. And so while she's doing that, if you'd like to join me in speaking our affirmation, we light this candle to remind us that the light of Christ lives within each one of us. And I am the light of Christ. And Jerry, we'd like you to come ring our bowl. It's the heart chakra, which is the F. Thank you. So now it's time for gratitude and sharing. Can I start? Aloha, everybody. I just got back from Hawaii, and I had the most amazing time. I got to see so much. We went to Honolulu, And the people that we stayed with were so knowledgeable about everything. I learned so much, and I still don't remember half of what she told me. But it was just wonderful. My sister and I stayed in there. They have built an apartment that they rent out, Airbnbs they do. And she brought us smoothies and breakfast every morning, and we were treated like queens. It was just amazing. I have to kind of share with you. My girlfriend just moved to Medford, and so I went to her, stayed with her overnight before I went to my sister's, and she says, "Oh, Kathy, I went to this church. It's a CSL/Unity. The ministers in both, been ordained in both." And so I says, "Oh, yeah, I'd love to." So I go in, and the sound's right here, and I'm eyeballing all of his stuff, you know. And all of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, somebody's coming at me, and I went, "Anton!" And Laura's up there, "Kathy," on the stage. And I went, "Oh, my gosh." Then I get on the plane. We're in Honolulu waiting to get on our plane. My sister goes, "Kathy, there's a lady over there staring at you." She goes, I says, "Oh, where?" And I went like this. "Who's there but Alyssa?" Alyssa, excuse me. And I went, "Oh, my gosh." So we flew back on the same planes back to Medford together. It was like awesome. So anyway, I'll let you go finish.
Great. And I'm so thankful for Kathy bringing back the aloha spirit with her this morning, because it was like walking in and taking a vacation myself. So, okay, who's next? Gratitude and sharing. Joba.
I just want to say how grateful I am that Laura and Anton are here today to give us a special musical message. I'm looking forward to it.
Yay, me too. Over here?
Good morning. I didn't go to Hawaii, but I have the aloha spirit. I'm going through an extremely difficult time right now, like don't sleep, don't eat time, but I get these sermons to my phone, and this morning it was like, stand back and let God take his will. And I'm like, oh, all right, not a problem. How easy is that, Jonna? You've been driving yourself nuts for the easiest thing. So, praise God.
Yay. Anybody else? No? Okay, so we're going to have Anton and Laura do this joy song, Loving Kindness. And we are standing.
Stand if you wish. Oh, yeah.
This is a Karen Drucker song, but not one of her most well-known ones.
But you can kind of dance to it. It's got that swing. It's loving kindness, not loving kindness. We can be kids.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. And may I be happy.
Now we can wish each other.
May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. And may you be happy.
And then we can celebrate all of us together having this great feeling.
May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. And may we be happy.
And then finally the affirmation.
I am filled with loving kindness. I am well. I am peaceful and at ease. And I am happy. And I am happy. And I am happy.
Laura, you can introduce me anytime. Okay. Oh, hey, I have to shoot. Could have done a gratitude, but it's a little like preaching to the choir on this. But I was really grateful for having the opportunity to go to our Riverfront Playhouse production. I have to be. I'd be less than honest if I didn't say I wasn't really looking forward to going, but I thought out of obligation to the church and all that, and I'd be present and all that. But about midway through, and particularly the second half, I thought, I'm really glad I came and participated. And I thought they did a beautiful job with a very tender kind of topic. And our community is blessed to have that resource and to give the venue to those people who have the talent and ambition and perseverance to pursue an acting role on a stage that most of us don't have the courage to do. And so bless them and bless that production. So anyway, today's word is cherish. And it's, again, one of those things in unity for me is that, we really do have, in spite of all the challenges all of us have in different ways, we still have the opportunities to cherish certain dimensions of our life and the blessings that we have. And this is one of those, for me, one of those reminders of what we can do if we choose to do with our life on a daily basis. The affirmation is, I cherish opportunities to share the love of God. Would you join with me, please? I cherish to share the love of God. It isn't the price of something that determines its value. It is how much it is cherished. It's not how something looks or what it costs that makes it beautiful. It is the love and wonder I feel that just like the gifts I give, I imbue my relationships with love. I cherish those for whom I care deeply, and I want them to feel cherished by me. I hold the intention for love and connection that is at the heart of my every exchange. Just as I feel cherished as a divine being, I share the love of God through my kind and considerable acts. At the heart of every kindness I extend is the prayer that those I serve will feel cherished, not only by me, but by God. Beautiful words inspired by 1 Thessalonians, the second chapter, the 8th verse. So deeply do we care for you that we are determined to share with you not only the gospel of God, but also our own selves, because you have become very dear to us. And now, as only they can do from the mountain, oh, are we blessed. Laura and Anton, the Lord's Prayer.
Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy
doesn't set the mood, I don't know what would. Thank you so much. It's time for us to just go within. Time to close our eyes. Time to relax. Just to be. To be still. And go within where God is. Where that love and that light boil up inside. Bring it up. Let it flow throughout your body as you sit there relaxing, relaxing, letting go of all that no longer serves. So as we do, our body is healing. When we can totally relax and let go, the healing begins. It said, ask and you shall receive. As the daily word said today, cherish yourself. Then you can cherish others. You have that opportunity to love someone else after you've loved yourself first. So as we go in deep inside and take just a couple of minutes to love ourselves, to bring that up, we just have this special time. And if we do this and ask whatever it is you would like, and it will be done. So join me now in taking a deep breath, and let's go within. And now, as we come back into this time and space, we come back bringing that beautiful love that we've brought up in our souls. We come back to community prayer, where we're going to speak the names of those friends and family and new acquaintances to bring them into this same light and love. So if you'll join me now by speaking their names aloud. I'd like to bring all of those names that are in the prayer box as well into this time and space. And I would like to hold Reverend Ken and the men at the retreat that is happening this weekend in that same love and light, knowing that all the names that you've spoke here today, all the names in the box, and the men on the retreat, all of us, no matter what it is that you've asked for, have the faith, believe, and know that it will come about, because it does. It really, really does. So through the power, let's speak our names and confirm this for everyone. So join me, Kathy. So through the power and the presence of our indwelling Christ Spirit, I always say, thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. And now we're going to have a celebration song, and just stay seated.
This is a song I wrote a few years ago for our minister up in Medford, who's a big fan of Course in Miracles, where it says that every interaction between people is either an expression of love or a request, a call for love. Every little thought, every little deed, every little want, every little need, an expression of love, an impression of love, a procession of love, or a call for love, a reflection of love, a perception of love, a connection to love, cry for love. Once I finally realized how much this life was worth, I began to make amends to all that I had heard, an expression of love. Of love, a procession of love, a call for love, once I found how much this life was worth, I began to make amends to all that I had heard, an expression of love, an impression of love, a procession of love. Of love, a connection to love, a perception of love, or a cry for love. It's a blessing of love.
And now it's time for Anton and Laura to give us our message.
Except we're going to grab Kathy's microphone.
tech. So we've called our talk today Forgiveness Inside Out. And we have been doing some forgiveness practices for several years. And we wanted to talk about the whole kind of the process and share the practice. So I'm going to talk at you for a short amount of time, and then Anton's actually going to guide us in a practice so we can try this. I'm going to move this. The light is right. If I move this way slightly, is it going to mess up the? No matter where I go. Yeah, this way. Well, the light is glaring on my screen. This is exciting. Okay, so I was attracted actually to this topic today, just to use forgiveness as a topic, for two reasons. I experienced forgiveness and had a success story in doing a forgiveness process. And it was, I would call it, looking back in hindsight, a forgiveness project. So this took a long time. It took months and months, and it was a repeated kind of process. And eventually, though, I did find freedom from the feelings that I was trying to release, and the forgiveness actually worked. So that inspired me not to just tell my own story. I mean, I'm going to leave it at that because there's a lot of other interesting things to talk about, but the fact is it's a process that worked. The second story, somewhere during this time when I was processing forgiveness, I heard this amazing story on a podcast, and it's a story from the Civil War in Sierra Leone that dates back to around, it was like 1999 to 2001. And it moved me incredibly deeply. There was actually an excerpt on the podcast that they played of a forgiveness process. So I actually got to hear the people's voices speaking and the whole thing. So the story that happened, it was two men in Sierra Leone, and they were childhood friends. And the war broke out, and one friend was forced with a gun at his head to commit atrocities. So he was forced to attack his other friend and kill the friend's father. And it permanently injured the friend, and the father was dead, and they made it through the war, and it was pretty horrible. I mean, just unimaginably horrible, and the things that other people experienced in their village and whatever, just awful, awful stuff. The rebels were purposely trying to destroy the community, and so they created a situation that they thought nobody could ever recover from. So eventually, though, the war was over, and the damage was everywhere. So how could this be healed? So I guess this is where the forgiveness test, the rubber meets the road. Can it be healed? So we'll talk about it more at the end of my talk here so that we can find out what happened in the rest of the story. So I'm going to talk a little bit just using the Lord's Prayer, which has that lovely line in it about forgiveness, just using that as an example to kind of start thinking about different things that we go through and process as we forgive. So we can probably say these words almost like automatically from memory. Just the forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. So that line, it seems pretty straightforward, but we can pick it apart some more and learn some important things from it about forgiveness. Essentially, one way to look at it, maybe a more old-fashioned way, is like saying, please, God, have mercy on us. Let us have mercy on others, and don't let us sin. And sin is kind of an outdated concept in this church. We don't really think of that much. We don't believe that there's actual, well, if we even go there, evil in the world, and we certainly wouldn't be that. Nevertheless, sometimes we do things that require forgiveness from others. So we can, and sometimes the errors are simple little things like temptations. What are temptations? Has anyone thought about that? Like if we give into a little bit of road rage, or like, I'm just going to cut that guy off, or take cuts in the store, or gossip about my friend. Those are pretty tempting little things that we encounter all the time. And often they do no real harm, but they do, if we're honest with ourselves, really, really honest, they are things that might require a little bit of forgiveness practice. Or maybe one easy way to deal with those small things is gratitude. Like, well, that guy cut in front of me, but I'm grateful that my car wasn't hit. There are easy ways to apply some of these concepts: gratitude, forgiveness. They work hand in hand. And those small things, they're forgivable errors that we commit. They wouldn't rise to the level of what most people think of as sin, but they help us work on our forgiveness processes, on our forgiveness path. So this thing about being left in temptation, leave us not in temptation. We don't want to be there all the time, but we are frequently tempted by many small things and sometimes large things. No, I'm not going to eat that extra sugar or have that drink when I've stopped drinking 10 years ago, or whatever. Like there are some more serious things that tempt us, addictions or behaviors that cause harm to our families or to others. So when we think about being left in temptation, where a place that we maybe don't want to be, then it's possible that we have lost sight of our own agency in this. If we're really praying to God in the unity way, we're like creating an alliance between ourselves and a power that is all around us. That first principle, God the good, everywhere present. That's you, that's in you, that's in me, that's all around us. So if we're really going to create an alliance with that, and then we're thinking about temptation, we really need to own this. Where is our agency? And another big question that comes up in forgiveness, besides agency, like agency can mean, where is my responsibility? How do I muster the resources to do the right thing? I know what's right, and I know what's not right, but how do I muster those resources to do that right thing, to choose the right? How do I bring myself into more oneness with all that is good? So this leads us to the second big question of the morning. Where is the locus of our goodness? Now, Anton told me I should cut this word out, locus, but I kind of like it because it's kind of like location, right? Locus, location, related through Latin, and focus. So where do we locate our goodness? Like if we're really trying to be good, is it out there somewhere? Is it someone telling us, you shouldn't eat that sugar? Or is it somewhere in here, like I can be responsible for resisting temptation or choosing a different path in my flow to be honest with myself and maybe not require forgiveness in the first place. But we're going to get into trouble over and over again, so we will want to know about forgiveness. But in our life path of trying to do good, where is our agency? Where's the locus of our own goodness? The more we can find it right here where we're at, probably the better we'll feel. So, the previous part of that phrase. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Does anyone else remember the old version where it was forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who have trespassed against us? That's a world where everybody's always doing some wrong, correct? It's like, but debts is a little different. This again is going to lead us. So debts as things we owe others, or the debtors are like the people or the things that are owed to us. That's a give and take kind of flow in the universe. And these debts, it's probably not healthy to think of them directly as like your car loan or something. These are debts of conscience. So these are debts that we accrue because we actually can tell right from wrong. These are debts that we take on because we are committed to resisting so-called temptation. We are committed to being more in that flow of goodness. So debts of conscience. A traditional way that people deal with debts of conscience, because they're not that far removed from the concept of trespasses in some sense, is to feel, I'm sure we've all felt this, guilt, shame, self-loathing, just other destructive things, anger at yourself. So if we take that path, if we say, well, I did this thing and I feel really guilty, that is actually a temptation. Giving into that feeling is actually a temptation. So we should know that that's taking us further from where the locus of goodness is in our center and further from our sense of agency. So that way to deal with a debt of conscience is less perhaps desirable in the unity path. So conscience, if we're going to use our conscience as a guide to get a little more deep into forgiveness, it needs to be balanced. So if that, and how are you going to make amends for it, then it's a little harsh. Like, that's a very righteous sounding world that we could live in, but we may want to balance it with something, and we have a gift from God, from the universe. We have something that can balance conscience. It's called compassion. So if we apply that to ourselves, if we apply it to others, that's a tool that kind of breaks down. There's like the structure of the conscience, the structure of like rules or norms or how, good ways to treat people, that sort of thing. We need those, but we also need something that brings a little softness to it, that softens the edges. So as we're coming to center and trying to live those really upright, good lives, and then we have compassion for others, and we can exchange that, reciprocate it, then we've got that softness and flow that goes with the conscience. So the Lord's Prayer, if we just think about the whole thing, but especially these words, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. So we're actively forgiving. Leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from error. So if all these words are too much, just think of that. How can I be a better human being? Boils it down right there. And when we take our debts of conscience and we apply compassion and we find our locus of goodness and we know it's in ourselves and we have that agency to act and choose and make good choices, we are getting closer and closer to oneness with God. We find empowerment there. It's a good place to be. So compassion can be a driver of forgiveness. And one more point, just to make it a little more complicated. Forgiveness is a decision. This goes back to our agency. Forgiveness is a decision. You have to want to do it. It can happen spontaneously. I've experienced that. But in that instant, it's still a decision. So to forgive, to accept forgiveness, we enact reciprocal compassion and grace, and we want to do it consciously. That's really the forgiveness process. All those things. It's a big ask. It's a little uncomfortable sometimes. I've thrown a lot of words at you. That alone might be uncomfortable, but the process is kind of like that. There's a lot that goes on different levels. Parts of it are easy, parts of it are just yucky, and it can be comfortable and ease creating and uncomfortable all at the same time. So forgiveness seems like such a nice topic, but it's actually a challenge. It's a challenge, and if we take it on, we're taking on a project or a process, and it takes commitment. So that's why I put so many big words in here, because just to help us if we're dealing with any forgiveness thing, just a project of forgiveness, just know it may not be simple. It may take repetition. It may take a lot of self-reflection. So going back to Sierra Leone, they did find forgiveness. So they did an ancient process that had already existed in their community, but they hadn't used it in a while. They did a 2-day reconciliation ceremony. And so this is where I got to hear the sound of the men. Actually, they recorded these 2 particular friends going through the ceremony. They decided, it took them a while to decide to participate, but they did. So the guy who was injured, he gets up around a bonfire, and the community members are there, and he says, here's what I experienced. I was beaten, permanently injured. My father, was killed by somebody, and the man who did it is here. So then the other man gets up and says, I injured you permanently. I killed your father, and I was made to do it at gunpoint. I didn't want to do it, and please forgive me. Can you forgive me? And the first man is just, you can imagine. I mean, it's emotional to talk about it, but the men in the ceremony were very emotional. There were community members there just I think touching them, it's hard to hear through the radio, but touching them to help them not become violent because there's so much emotion. So the friend who was injured did grant the forgiveness in this case. And part of the container of that ceremony was that no crimes were prosecuted or punished, so that there could be a real chance for erring to acknowledge this is what we did, this is what we experienced. So it was completely out in the open. The community after that, and there were many people that had to go through this process, the community did heal and repair. Friendships were either newly made or rekindled. The former enemies were now, everyone was accepted, and the community prospered. But they found that even though the community did better and better, the individuals still were dealing with some depression and anxiety after the process, because just having to remember and acknowledge all those things publicly was very, very difficult and hard on their psyches. So it's important to remember that self-care during the forgiveness process is really, really important. All the gratitude, compassion, and love that we can find is important to give to ourselves. So forgiveness, the actual act of forgiveness can happen in an instant. But what surrounds it is a process that can go along for a long time, can go on for a long time. Self-forgiveness is the deepest sort of work. And in every case, you can imagine that it's not just forgiving another person, but there's also a lot that goes on inside ourselves with our self-forgiveness. So just to rehash a few questions that are pertinent to this process: where is my agency? Where's the locus of my own goodness? How and where do I feel the oneness that is my birthright? What am I holding on to? And what is ready to let go? So just to finish, I made it through the forgiveness process over the last few months as processing. And if anyone else is going through that, I know you can do it too. It's something we'll all do more than once in our lives. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Anton to actually show us the process.
So, I guess I need to ask the community, because Laura just gave a 20-minute talk. Do you feel complete, or do you have 10 more minutes in you? Because if you feel complete with the talk, we can just go on to the offering and the peace song. And if you'd like to do the practice, it will take some time. So, you up for that? Okay. So, thank you. I should know that as a musician, that it doesn't work if I do that. So Laura and I work, one of the hats we wear beside musicians, we work as spiritual mountain guides on Mount Shasta. And people come from all over the world. We get a lot of people from Latin America, as far as Argentina and Chile, from India, Japan, China, Europe. And they go to Mount Shasta looking for spiritual transformation. And we get them for maybe 4 hours, sometimes for 7. And it's our job to be facilitators, to kind of the catalyst for this transformation. So one of the things that we've found that really primes the pump is a forgiveness practice. Because you've probably heard the Zen story of the Roshi at the monastery that pours the cup of tea for the new student and just keeps pouring and pouring, and it spills all over the table. And finally the student says, "What are you doing?" And he says, "Well, if there's no emptiness here, nothing can happen." So what forgiveness does is it creates a space so that something can change. And what Laura's talk and the Lord's Prayer demonstrates is that there's a lot of things that we've done that we need forgiveness for, and there's a lot of things that people have done to us that we need to forgive. So it's kind of a two-way street, but there's a deep interconnectedness. And so the practice that we're going to do plays on that interconnectedness, and I'll explain a little bit as we do the practice. So I'm going to address this, turn to Kathy, because this practice comes from Hawaii. It's called Ho'oponopono, and I'm just going to read a line in English, and you'll say it after me. Then I'll read it in Hawaiian, and you'll say the Hawaiian as best you can, okay? And so just for a minute, breathe into your center space, and just think that you're speaking this in general to the universe. So I'll say a line, then you repeat it. I love you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Aloha. Iaoi. Eke akua. E kalamai, iau. E olu olu oi. E hui kalamai, iau. Mahalo, ia oi. Mahalo, ia oi. I love you. I'm home now. Mahalo. 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 So, how did that feel? Okay, so now we need to do the real work. I want you to, each of you, to think of somebody who really hurt you. And if you want something meaningful, don't take the low-hanging fruit. Big. And we're going to do something, it's a little trick from a lot of spiritual traditions. We're going to ask forgiveness from this person who really hurt us. Now, it's counterintuitive. So I'm going to take a minute of explanation and then explain the process. In Buddhism, there was a monk who lived 1,500 years ago, Shantideva, who wrote a great work, Bodhicitta Avatara, Entering the Path of Enlightenment. And Shantideva said, okay, somebody hurt you 20 years ago. There's a continuum. On one end of the continuum, they didn't mean to hurt you at all. So you can forgive somebody who didn't mean to hurt you. But on the other end of the continuum, they really meant to hurt you, and they still want to hurt you every day. So how do we forgive this person, and why do we forgive them? Well, because if we don't forgive them, they get to hurt us every day. Every day we keep hanging on to this hurt. It saps our awareness, it saps our attention, it takes us out of the present. It gives everybody in the world a button to push to put us into reactivity. So we're going to do what they call in Sanskrit paravarti, turning something on the head, what they call in Tibetan tong glen, substituting one person for the other, and something that comes out of the Bible that Jesus alluded to in, I think it's Matthew 5:41, where Jesus said, okay, because the people in Israel, they were occupied by the Romans, which gave the Roman legions the ability to request that, hey, you carry my stuff for a mile. And Jesus said, okay, if a Roman soldier asks you to carry his equipment for a mile, carry it for 2 miles. And why is that? Because if you carry it for a mile, you're agreeing to your victimhood. These people are oppressing you. But if you carry it the 2nd mile, you're taking agency. You're saying, you treat me as a victim, but from my own empowerment, I choose to give this gift to you. So that's why we're going to do this Ho'oponopono, visualizing a person or people who've hurt us the most. You guys all in for this? Okay. So go back to your center space. And as you say this, I want you to visualize the person or people who've really hurt us. I want you to visualize asking them for forgiveness. So I'll say it and then you repeat. I love you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Aloha ao. Ia oi. E ke akua. E kalamai. Ia u. E olu olu oi. E hui kalamai. Ia u. Mahalo. Ia oi. Mahalo. Ia oi. Mahalo. Ia oi. So we're not quite done to make this healing complete. We have to visualize now this person that we've forgiven, that we've taken that amazing step to break this cycle that's lasted for all these years. We have to visualize them, whether they're still alive or whether they're gone, asking us for permission, for forgiveness as we do the final part of this whole Ho'oponopono process. We all good with that? Okay. So back to that center space. Back to visualizing the person that we have. This hurt with. We're visualizing them asking us for forgiveness for this pattern, this cycle that's been in our lives for so long. I love you. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Aloha ao. Ia oi. E ke akua. E kalamai. Ia u. E olu olu oi. E hui kalamai. Ia u. Mahalo. Ia oi. Mahalo. Ia oi. Mahalo. Ia oi. So, of course, this process is going to unfold over the next few days. And I just want to thank you here at Unity for allowing Laura and I to share this with you. You're a big part of our lives. And you've enriched us so much all these years. We wanted to take this opportunity to give something back to you. So thank you so much.
Thank you all. Okay, today's the third week, so we're doing the mission statement, if we have that. Oh, okay. Oh, so we are doing vision. Okay. As a vibrant, sacred community, we express the indwelling Christ spirit and co-create a world that works for all. And if you join me in putting your blessing, your offering into your hand as we say the blessing. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. abundance in the world.
I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world. I love you, I bless you, thank you for being in the world.
And now we'd like to give thanks for these blessings. Divine Spirit, we give with a grateful heart the thanks for all that is given here at Unity, for the volunteers, for the people that give, others outside of us. We are grateful. Amen. And now we're going to have platform announcements.
Thank you. So first, we want to thank Jerry and Jack today for being our ushers and soundboard. The church office will be open this week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Remember, there's meditations at noon if you're out and about to come in, or you can always call in. See Kathy after service if you would like prayer today. And also on Sundays at 9:30, there's the prayer circle that's held in the prayer room by Diana every Sunday. So we had an excellent turnout for the Playhouse buyout that we had this past week. And we want to introduce the worship team. So it looks like Shelba, Diana, Jerry, everybody. The next kirtan will be on June 15th at noon after service. That'll be by Anton and Laura with Alyssa. And next week after service begins the prosperity class. So you want to try to stay for that. We could all use a little help in our prosperity remembrance, I think. And we're looking for volunteers for a vocal team. There's about 2 practices a month. There's practice this Tuesday at 2 if you're interested. I will be there. So maybe someone come join me so I won't be by myself. This week we're having Reiki on 5:20 from 4 to 5:30. The Course in Miracles study group Thursday at 10 a.m. and Circle of Love book club at 1 on Thursday. As always, we thank those who are bringing snacks, and if you want to sign up, the list is in the kitchen. And you can see Shelba about duties because Shelba's leaving us. So she'll be stepping down as you're moving to Old Station. So we're looking for someone to do your hosting duties. And as always, check the bulletin board for the 12-step program meeting times. And we look forward to seeing you next Sunday, either here or on Facebook and the website. And also remind everyone that this is live streamed on Facebook, and you can read it later. And you might want to share this talk with this forgiveness practice with anybody else that you think that could use it. So on Facebook, you can go ahead and share it, and so other people can see it as well. So now we have our peace song, our closing song.
And now we're going to do a prayer of protection. And it's a call and response, so if you'll join me. I am the light of God. Oops, I'm sorry. I read the wrong one. I am. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. And together, wherever we are, God is. Go and have a great week, and we'll see you on next Sunday. Huh? Oh, don't forget to stay for fellowship. Oh, I didn't want anybody to stay. There's too many donuts out there. Oh.